Welcome back to Frugalman Outdoors. Today we're going to incubate some eggs in my homemade incubator. The last video I did, I showed how I built this incubator out of a cooler. And close to the end of that video, I mentioned getting 3 dozen eggs to put in there. Unfortunately, I was only able to get 18, but I will be getting more eggs in a few more days. This is a mixed breed of eggs, everything from the New Jersey Giants to the Orphean Buffs, and I believe there may be some Rhode Island Reds in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look inside the cooler. And underneath the light, I'm going to put a glass bowl with some water in it to help with the humidity. I've already tested this box for the past 2 days to make sure that it was going to reach temperature and have humidity, and everything worked well. Using this thermometer, it reaches 100 degrees and then shuts off, and then it goes back down to 98. It turns back on, and that's what just happened now. Anyway, what we have is some chainsaw shavings in the bottom, our 75-watt light bulb, and water underneath it for the humidity. So now I'm going to lay my eggs in there one at a time on the side. Now I'm going to put all these eggs on one side of the light, and in a couple days I'm going to get the other eggs and I'll put them on the other side of the light. So let's take a look down inside here, and I'm going to point all the eggs point one direction. And then I'm going to come back through and I will put a mark on one side of the eggs. I guess I could have marked them first, but I got a little ahead of myself. Now, we did not wash these eggs. The lady that I got the eggs from at work, she kept them rotated for the last 2 days as she was collecting them, and kept them at room temperature. Did not cool them, did not heat them. All she did was make sure they kept them being turned. That way the embryo did not connect to just one side of the eggshell. And that is also something we're going to do 3 times a day. We're going to have to turn these eggs. So I'm going to set a alarm, and every 8 hours we will rotate these eggs. That way they will have no chance of the embryo connecting to one side of the shell. So right now we're just going to leave it the way it is. Close it. Right now we're all the way back down to 92.8 degrees since we've had the lid open. Now, I don't know if you looked at my last video where I built this incubator, but it has vents at the top, and I've discovered that if I leave the vents about a quarter of the way open, I still get good humidity, and the temperature rises and falls at a decent amount of time instead of getting real hot real fast. Now that I have a marker, I'm going to reach down in here and I'm going to put a mark. It doesn't have to be a large mark or a number or anything specific, just something that I will recognize when I go to rotate my eggs. Every time I rotate the eggs, I want to make sure that that mark is different each time. So I have the mark in one spot, so when I rotate them, I'll have it to where you can't see the mark. And then the next time, I will rotate it to where you can see the mark again. And we do that, like I said, 3 times a day. See you in about 3 days. Okay, it's day 2, the end of day 2, and I was able to get 14 more eggs. You notice I put a red X on these ones, and the other ones have a black X. So we're going to put those in there along with the other eggs that we started 2 days ago. Set them up the same way. Did I miss one? No, there it is. Okay. My thermometer has been working very well. It's been staying steady. It turns on at 98 and turns back off at 100. So we're staying real close to the temperature. We don't want to get too hot, and we also don't want it to get too cold. So it has a 2-degree variance. These are a little bit messy, but we do not want to wash fertilized eggs that we are incubating. So we'll deal with a little bit of a mess. So now we're also at the time where we need to turn our first eggs. So we're going to rotate them around to where the X is up. So now all the eggs will have their X's up at the same time. Also, I noticed my water is going down a little bit. I'm going to bring that back up to the top of the bowl. That way we have the same humidity at all times. I don't have a way of measuring the humidity, but I know that I have humidity inside my cooler because of the condensation on the sight window. There we go. And now I'm going to top it off the water. Now I have good well water, so I'm going to use it. But some people are worried about using chemical water from, like, if you have processed water out of a city or something, so they buy bottled water. Like I said, mine is just out of a well and filtered. So we'll check back in day 7 and I'll show you how to candle them. Okay, we're going to do some candling of our chicken eggs. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to do it on the 7th, but now is our 13th day. I'm going to show you the difference between a fertilized egg and an unfertilized egg. Now, both of these eggs have been in the incubator the whole time, and I'm just now starting to candle them, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two. First here is going to be the egg that is unfertilized. Take a bright flashlight and put it underneath the egg, and the whole egg is lit up nice and bright. You can roll it around and look around in there, and you don't see anything in there. It's all shiny. That is an unfertilized egg. Now, this next one here, if you shine the light through the egg, you notice it's much darker, and you see right here the baby chicken inside there moving around. You see that? Roll the egg a little bit and see him move. You see that little embryo in there? That's our baby chicken. Like I said, this is day 13, and you can see a developed baby chicken there. He's moving around. So I'm going to get another one out. Let's see if we can see a difference in those. Let's see. Just randomly grab one, take a look. It's a dark egg, so you can't see it being real bright in there. If you roll it a little bit, you can see the darkness inside the egg, and that is the baby chick embryo growing inside there. And right here you can see the veins, the developing veins inside there. I'm going to show you again what the unfertilized egg looks like. And that whole egg is really bright. So we know there's no embryo growing inside this one, which means it's not fertilized. So as I go through my eggs, I'll get all the ones that are lit up like this, and I'll discard them. You don't want to try to eat them because they've been sitting in there under the heat for all this time. So they're probably going to be pretty nasty. So I'll just discard these and send them out there for the critters to eat on. But all the fertilized ones that show embryos inside, I'll spread them out a little bit inside the box. I don't know if it's my imagination, but I just turned these eggs and I think I hear a little chirping, but it's actually 2 days early, 3 days early. So hopefully they get fully developed. Maybe they are starting a little early. They're actually not supposed to start hatching until the 21st, and today is the 18th. No, correction, today's the 19th. So, if they start hatching, I'll get back with you. You could be talking to... Okay, so, I am not imagining things now. I am definitely hearing babies. We don't have any shells cracking yet, but I can hear the babies in the shell. Okay? So we're going to keep coming back and checking on babies, because I don't know if you can hear it on the phone, but occasionally we hear a little tweet. That's a bell. That wasn't a tweet.
That was a tweet. And that was.
Okay, I'm going to open the lid so maybe we can hear it on the phone. I'm pretty sure you heard that on film that time. Anyway, we will check back as soon as we start having some shells cracking. Okay, here we go. And this egg right here has a piece of shell broken off, so I believe we have a baby trying to break out of her shell. So we're going to keep an eye on it. This one right there. I just had time to, it was time to turn them over, and I noticed this piece of shell missing, so I figured we have a, oh, did you see that? Come on, little baby. It's starting to crack open. I saw a little beak poke out of there just a second ago. Well, there's the first one. That one came out of its shell overnight. I just woke up. He's a little bit exhausted from getting out. He'll move around every once in a while, but right now he's just sitting and relaxing. And over here, we have another one that's trying to come out of his shell. Hopefully you get to see a little bit more of that. I'm going to leave the phone here. Oh, see, there's the shell moving. I'm going to leave the phone here so maybe you can watch a little bit of that. Oh, there he goes. Okay, here we are in the house, and I'm going to put a piece of cardboard in the bottom to make cleanup much easier. And then have water and food. Now we have 9 birds that have hatched. This is a couple days later than I intended to do this because my first try at this video turned out to be not so good. So we have all of our 9 birds. Most of the other eggs either were not fertilized or did not hatch. I don't know why, but we have 9 healthy babies, and we're going to move them over into the box. And we have some of the black ones and some of the light colored ones, which are the bucks. And move them all in here. Now most of these are just 2 and 3 days old. There you go. Pretty little babies. Now I've already introduced these guys to the water, but I'm going to show you what I do. I'll get some more light in here so you can see better. What I do is I'll take the bird and I'll take his beak and just dunk it in the water. It gives him a little taste of the water and he knows it's there. And naturally they'll find the food. Sometimes you have to show it to them, but these guys have already found the food and they found the water. So now we're going to leave them in the brooding box till they get quite a bit bigger, and then move them to an outside pen. That'll be for a future video. Okay, these babies here, we have those 9 healthy babies that came out of that first hatching. They are doing great. They are 10 days old and 11 days old. There's healthy little babies. You can't have them. Anyway, I have another batch of eggs in the process of being incubated. And here's the 9 babies from the first batch. They are getting big and they're nice and healthy. If you're interested in how I built either one of these boxes, check them out in my previous videos. I have one for the incubator and one for the brooder box. So, thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, share with your friends. See you next time.